Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Dan Blanchard with the Travel in Time with Dan show, where we mix travel with history, with leadership, and of course with me, Dan Blanchard. Today I am in Waterbury, Connecticut at the Radium Girls Memorial Way. This little teeny street sign marker behind me, right, is a tiny remembrance of a big thing that happened here in Waterbury, Connecticut, a little bit after World War I. And this sign is located right next to the former Time Expo Museum here in Waterbury, Connecticut, which you will see right here over my shoulder, right there. The sign is just off of I-84 Connecticut, right there. All right. Now this was going back to like World War I. Wristwatches were getting like the craze. Everybody wanted them. I had a wristwatch in the Army, right? And that took place after World War I. And there was this Waterbury Clock Company. They wanted to make some money, right? You can't blame them. They wanted to make some money after World War I with the watches. And the big thing was like the glow-in-dark watches. So to make this sort of money, they were going to hire a whole bunch of girls, right, for like an assembly line sort of thing, Ford, all that sort of stuff. Of course, these girls were going to have nimble fingers, right, so they could paint the glow-in-the-dark dials, all that stuff, the numbers, all that stuff. And they're going to hire women, right, so they don't have to pay a whole lot of money. These women are going to work 7 days a week, and they're going to make 5 cents a watch, all right? And they're going to use a thing that's called radium, right? A radium, and they're going to be like, it's going to like glow in the dark. Again, I had a wristwatch when I was in the Army, and I loved how I could look at it in the dark and see the dials, see the numbers, all that sort of stuff, right on your wrist. Like, this is good because before that, it was pocket watches were the big thing, right? But like, if you're in World War I, you don't want to be taking your hand off your weapon to be reaching in your pocket to grab a pocket watch. You want to be able to just kind of turn your wrist a little bit so you could see what time it was and coordinate like the attack or coordinate the movement, whatever you needed to do. But they needed to glow in the dark. So radium glowed. Radium is what they used. All right? And believe it or not, radium was considered to be a lot of fun. It was fun. I mean, it was really cool, the glow in the dark at the time. Everybody thought it was really cool, the glow in the dark. But what's happening is these people now, especially the girls on the assembly line, what they're doing is they're painting themselves with their radium, this glow-in-the-dark stuff. They're painting it on their nails, their skin, they're putting it in their hair. It was considered to be like a really good thing if your teeth glowed. That was considered a good thing. And again, because of the lip dipping, right, you could put the little teeny fine paintbrush in your mouth, right, and give a pointed end to the paintbrush, and this made it easier to paint the dial and the numbers with the radium more accurately and quicker. And remember, 5 cents a watch. The faster you painted, the more money you could make. Right? And this was considered cool. Think about it right here after World War I. All the Waterbury girls here, the Radium girls, walking around Waterbury, Connecticut with teeth glowing. And people were like, oh, that's cool, that's cool. Now, I know this may sound crazy today, but back in the day, radium was considered, even though it's poisonous today, we know that. It's poisonous back then too, they didn't know it. But they considered it like a miracle substance. It improved everything. Doctors prescribed it for everything between like colds to cancer, right? It improved your life, made you live longer, better longevity. It improved your libido, improved everything about your life. This miracle substance, right? And the doctors were backing it, saying, yeah, of course, radium's good for you. Radium's real good for you. And it was like pretty much almost in everything, right? It was pretty crazy, right? So, but what happened, right? What happened? There's something that was going on under the surface that people just didn't quite get at the time. But what happened is one day, one of these girls, remember they're all like in their 20s, right? The prime years of their life. But one of the girls went into the dentist to get a tooth pulled. And when the dentist pulled her tooth, he also pulled her jaw off. Yeah, let that sit with you for a second. The dentist pulls her tooth, but her jaw comes along with it. Something very wrong there, right? One of the girls, when she was dancing on the dance floor, remember they're like in their 20s, one of the girls, when she was dancing on the dance floor, her legs just broke from dancing. Yeah. Their spines were collapsing for other girls. Something very, very wrong here, right? And it turned out the better the worker, right? The more lip dipping, the better the worker, the sooner they started suffering and dying, right? More lip dipping, right? Remember, that's what's going on here at Radium. So there is this woman, right? Her name is Frances Spletstotter. Again, early 20s. She's the first woman to die from the radium poisoning over here at the Water Clock Company. Right? And then many, many more of the girls are going to die, and they're going to suffer. And the ones that do live a long time are going to suffer for a long time before they die. Now, these reports are coming back to management, and the girls are like, listen, there's something going on here. Maybe the radium's not good for us. Maybe the radium's bad for us. Management's denying it, saying, no, it's not that. It's other things you're doing in life. Management even hired like a phony doctor. Or maybe they paid him enough money to say whatever they want him to say. But the doctor's like, no, girls, there's nothing wrong with the radium. It's not that, it's something else. Now get back to work, right? And it was crazy. And the Radium Girls are actually going to bring it to court. They're going to become activists. They're going to bring it to court, and I believe they're going to lose the lawsuit. I'm pretty sure, right? But they're going to make a big dent in labor history, right? This is, they might lose the battle, but later on, like the war, labor history war, they're going to win. And because of their suffering, right? During World War II, the doctors and the personnel that are working on the atomic bomb, they're going to take safety measures. And many, many, many people over the course of history are going to take safety measures, and they're going to be protected because of what the Radium Girls went through. Now, I've seen some pictures of the Radium Girls. It's pretty grotesque what's happening to like their jaws and their mouth from the radium. And that's going to help a lot of people in the future. And sadly, it doesn't help the Radium Girls. And the Radium Girls have been mostly forgotten to history, right? Part of it is, the 1994 company moved. In 1994, the company moved out of Waterbury, moved to Middlebury, and rebranded, changed the name. And a lot of this is just going to be kind of swept under the rug, and the Radium Girls are going to pretty much be forgotten, right, over time. And all that's really left, right? There was supposed to be like some big marker memorial made to them. That didn't happen. All that's really left for the most part is just this little teeny street sign memorial here for the Radium Girls here in Waterbury, Connecticut. Sad, that's all that's left. But look, somebody got something done for these girls to remember these girls. Every single day, probably hundreds if not thousands of people drive by this sign, don't even notice it, have no idea what it means. This big clock tower over here behind me is obviously more noticeable, right, when you drive by. But again, people are driving right by it, not even knowing what it means and what it's here for, all right? So anyways, when I talk about my Travel in Time with Dan show, I talk about travel, history, leadership, and of course me, Dan Blanchard. Waterbury, Connecticut, definitely a pretty cool place. You should definitely drive down there, travel down here, check it out. Definitely check out this old time expo museum here. Definitely see the sign, the little teeny remembrance that's here for the Radium Girls. All right, don't let their lives be for nothing. Their suffering be for nothing. Come down, definitely check it out. And give you some of the history. So what is the leadership here, right? Well, I think the leadership here is don't be victims. Life is rarely ever fair. Don't be victims. Be catalysts for change like the Radium Girls, right? They became activists. They fought back. They knew they were being lied to, and the radium wasn't safe in this miracle substance like it was being made out to. They fought back, right? They became activists. They fought back. They told everybody. It's brought lawsuits, all that stuff. So again, the leadership principle is don't be victims, be catalyst for change. That's what I think we all need to be. Well, anyways, everybody, thank you for spending time with me today on the Travel in Time with Dan show, where we mix travel with history, with leadership. We'll be back real soon with another great episode. Till then, you take care and keep being catalyst for change. Thank you. Have a great day.